Hello everyone. In this video we are going to talk about classification of goods, and we are also going to talk about certain cases where custom duty is not payable. When we say certain cases where custom duty is not payable, we are talking about goods pilfered, goods damaged, goods destroyed, or goods relinquished. Let's first talk about classification, then we'll talk about no duty payable in certain cases. Classification. What's the purpose? To find out the applicable rate of custom duty. Where do you get the customs rate? It's available in Custom Tariff Act 1975. This Custom Tariff Act is based on harmonized system of nomenclature. Harmonized system of nomenclature is an internationally accepted product coding system which helps in grouping of various products where similar products are grouped together, like plastic articles in one section, rubber articles in one section. That's how it is grouped. Now, when we talk about classification, there are some rules of interpretation given in classification. Let's try to understand those rules. First of all, any heading which is given is of no use. Let me tell you how it looks. Say suppose there is a chapter 39, which deals with plastic articles, and in this plastic articles we will have various custom duty rates given. Now there will be two columns, one rate column and second one preferential rate column. Now what is this preferential rate? And then various items would be mentioned. What is rate and preferential rate? Rate of custom duty, say suppose, is 10%. Preferential rate might have something lower, say suppose 5%. What does it mean? If you import from certain countries, government will give us a benefit, and that benefit is lower custom duty rate, but a certificate of origin has to be obtained that goods were manufactured in the country where preferential rate benefit is given. Lot of people also plan this transaction in such a way that they try to import the good from preferential country, just doing some value addition, so that we get a preferential rate of custom duty. This planning is also done, so they keep making these rules stricter. Plus, government also clearly provides that in case you have not claimed it while importing it, that is while filing your bill of entry, if you don't claim preferential rate, later on you cannot come back to government and say that preferential rate would have been available to me. So the claim has to be done at that particular point only. Clear with this? Okay. So this is about classification, preferential rate. Now let's talk about various rules of interpretation. The first rule is any heading. Say suppose plastic article, the first heading is articles made of polyethylene. Polyethylene heading would not be of relevance. What is relevant is the product code, that is tariff item, because entire Custom Tariff Act is based on 8-digit product coding system. So once it is 8-digit, only then the rate or preferential rate will be mentioned. So first rule clearly provides for non-usage of heading, chapter heading, etc. Rule 2A, very important rule. It says, if there is an incomplete product having the essential characteristic of a complete product, then it will be classified as if it is a complete product. Again, if there is a incomplete product having essential characteristic of a complete product, it will be classified as if it is a complete product. जैसे कि car without tires. A car without tires is still a car. Incomplete product having essential characteristic of a complete product will be regarded as if it is complete product. Now, you cannot save custom duty by saying that car without tires is not car, so I will not pay custom duty. That's not permissible. It will be treated as if it is a car. Okay. Then, an unassembled product having essential characteristic of an assembled product will still be classified as an assembled product. This used to happen in cars again. unassembled form. Cars were imported in unassembled form and they used to take the benefit of lower customs rate for parts of car and say these are parts of car, this is not car, because car was subject to a higher custom duty rate. Government said an unassembled product having essential characteristic of an assembled product will be treated as if it is a assembled product. Plus, anything which is mentioned in the Custom Tariff Act, it will include its mixtures as well. Say suppose gold is mentioned here, then it will include any product containing gold that will also be covered under this particular segment. So a mixture will also be considered for that particular material. Okay. Now, say suppose you are not able to distinguish, like you have a product which has two major varieties and two major components and both the components are separately mentioned. Then rule 3 provides you for alternatives. 3A talks about specific description. It says specific description will override general description. Like if I talk about a suitcase, whether it will be considered as a bag or article of plastic. Sir, obviously bag. That's how specific description will override general description. Then we have rule 3B. 3B talks about essential characteristic. Let me give you an example. You have to see the essential characteristic and based on that you have to classify. For example, I import a software in a hardware. How will it be classified? Obviously, it will be classified as a software. The essential characteristic will override any particular mixture. Thereafter, rule 3C says laterer the better. Laterer the better. In case you cannot get the specific description, essential characteristic, like say suppose I am importing trouser and shirt. If I am importing trouser and shirt, I cannot go by specific description. I cannot go by essential characteristic. The law says laterer the better. What is laterer the better? The one which comes later in the HSN series. Say suppose there is one product which has 3978 and one which has 3990. It would be considered as 3990. Clear with this? Yes. And then we have rule 4 which talks about akin rule. Say suppose you cannot classify based on rule 2 and rule 3. In that case, the law says classify it as a nearest to the product description which is given. Akin, a product description which is nearest to it. This will be useful in case it's a new product which is being made for the first time. So try to find out the closest product to that and classify it based on that. Then we have rule 5 for packing materials. See, if there is a specific packing, like gun case for a gun. If gun case is imported with a gun case will not be classified separately. It will be classified as if it is a gun and the same rate of custom duty will be applicable as applicable for the gun. And be very careful about one thing. Say suppose gun case is imported separately. Sir, if gun case is imported separately, then obviously custom duty rate of that gun case will be applicable. So the law has given us lot of clarity on this area. While reading all this, you should also understand one thing. Can the rate of custom duty be increased by government? Government. See, this comes from Custom Tariff Act. To change an act, you require approval of the parliament. I am asking you, can custom duty rate be increased by government? Do they have the power? The answer is yes. They have the power to increase the rate of custom duty. A special emergency power is available. Once they increase it and thereafter the parliament is in session, they have to place it in the parliament. If it is not approved there, then it will have a prospective effect. Like for the period for which you have increased it, that will be applicable, but thereafter it would not be considered as a increased custom duty rate. Sir, does the government have the power to decrease custom duty rate anytime? That is done by exemption. Obviously, that is permitted at all times. Okay. So this was about classification. In classification, what did we come across? We came across custom duty comes from Custom Tariff Act. We have rate, preferential rate, and we got through all the rules of interpretation. Thereafter, let's talk about certain cases where custom duty is not applicable. Now, there are 4 basic cases. Pilfered. Pilfered means theft in small quantity. Damaged or deteriorated. Then you have destroyed. And last one is relinquishment. Relinquishment is giving up the right over those goods. Now, let's try to understand. The benefit in case of pilfered goods, that is theft in small quantity, is available till the order for clearance for home consumption or order for deposit to warehouse is given. If any goods are pilfered before this date, in that case, custom duty is not payable. Before order for clearance for home consumption or before order for deposit to warehouse, custom duty will not be applicable. Say suppose goods are pilfered before entering into India, then import has not happened, no need of paying custom duty. Say suppose it is pilfered at the time of unloading or before clearance for home consumption or before order for deposit to warehouse, again custom duty will not be applicable. Damaged or deteriorated, you get the benefit till order for home consumption. But remember, deteriorated, the benefit is available only to the extent of unloading of goods. Only to the extent of unloading of goods. That's it. Thereafter, if you knew that it is going to deteriorate, you should not have left it at the port, neither you should have stored it in the warehouse. You should have cleared it immediately. So, government is strict in case of deteriorated. Plus, tell me one thing, if pilfered goods are received back, sir, if pilfered goods are received back, then obviously custom duty will be payable. Okay? Tell me one more thing. What would happen in a case where goods were damaged by the importer due to his negligence or his employee due to a negligence? In such cases, sir, custom duty is payable. Okay. What about goods destroyed? Goods destroyed, you get the benefits up to order for clearance for home consumption. And what about relinquishment? Relinquishment, you get the relief till order for home consumption or order for deposit to warehouse. So that means once it is deposited to warehouse, thereafter you don't get the power relief for relinquishment. You have to pay custom duty. Plus, we will also come across a particular case where, say suppose you imported this pen, but thereafter you found that this pen is not in conformity with the purpose. Ekdam bekar pen. No use. Now see, this has become useless. You have already paid custom duty. Now you can go to the custom authorities and claim a refund. Yes, you heard it right. In case you have not worked upon these goods and these are not in conformity or they are defective, in such cases you can go to the department and give it to them or relinquish it or destroy it, and in such cases you will get back your custom duty. A very good point which signifies consumption, that if goods cannot be used in India, government will give us a refund. That is a very, very, very big benefit which is available. Clear? Yes, sir. Now let's have a look at all these pilfered, damaged, deteriorated and relinquished cases in a small diagram which can be used before the exam. See this. When we talk about goods pilfered, it's theft in small quantity. Will we get the benefit in case of pilfered? Yeah. If it is before the port, no custom duty. At the port, no custom duty payable. So till this date, order for clearance for home consumption or till the time of deposit to warehouse, you will get the benefit. Destroyed, yes, no custom duty payable. Deteriorated or damaged, benefit available. When I say benefit available, I mean proportionate duty to the value which is left will be payable. Obviously, in case of damage, it's not completely damaged, so you will have to pay some amount of custom duty based on the value of such goods after considering the damaged portion. Relinquished, no custom duty payable. At the port, again, here I am just mentioning no custom duty payable. But say suppose you relinquish goods where an offense was claimed, like एक smuggler है, smuggler ने अगर relinquishment किया, so will custom duty be payable? The answer is obviously yes. And then it says for the star is there at two places. For the star, for deteriorated goods, only up to unloading of such goods. Sir, what about after clearance? After clearance, custom duty already paid, no benefit available. What about during transit to warehouse or in the warehouse? Now, during transit to warehouse or in the warehouse, for pilfered, custom duty payable. For relinquished, custom duty is payable. In other cases, there is no need to pay custom duty. Clear with this? Yes, sir, very clear. And once you transfer it to the warehouse, you can thereafter claim the benefit for destroyed and damaged, not deteriorated, not pilfered, not relinquished. Yes, so go through this chart. This chart will help you one day before the exam.